manifesto in 2016 and 2020 outlining specific things we want to do. Surely, we haven't been able to do everything we highlighted in the manifesto. The last time we checked, we've done a little over 80% of what we promised the people between 2016 and now. So there is some 20% left. But that 20%, KSM, is equally important. And for most of the people, the 20% has also even built on, because there are additional needs that have come that the people are looking for it too. And so he addresses them. He speaks to the issues. He tells them clearly what it is that he believes we could have done that is still outstanding, and then outlines the plan and the strategy going into the future.
How is the campaign and him personally addressing this issue, as no matter how much he wants to detach nam ye mate, nam ye driver, but people are saying no, you know, you can't just get away with that. How much do you think the effort to detach is working? Because people don't seem to get that excuse. Say,
I was just about to open his speech for you. As a matter of fact, and I probably would like to set that record on your show, the vice president has never, ever, on any occasion, sought to detach himself from the government. He's never done that. And the point he made about being a driver's mate, which I was trying to open to read to you because I wanted to pick it verbatim, never sought to, it was never nowhere close to him trying to say that I am not part of the government. Isn't the mate part of the journey? Isn't a mate part of the journey?
Is so.
Exactly.
But when they say that, but they say the first
absolutely.
It means he was not in control.
No, of course, but is the mate in control? So that analogy is not wrong. But that analogy never implies that I am not part of the journey. When the driver wakes up in the morning, he doesn't move his car without his mate, does he? Wherever the mate is, it's either he will wait for the mate or he will go to pick the mate up. The mate has a specific responsibility on the journey. When, for example, you set up to move from Medina to Accra Central, the mate's job at the lorry park is to make sure that he's in the queue. You know the way they do it at the GPRTU station? The bookman has called, you know, Eduso. Then the mate will be cleaning the car whilst the driver is chatting with his colleagues. When it's your turn, usually the mate will move the car from where it's parked to come and stand. They call it skill and park on the skill. Then the mate will be calling, Madina Lego, 37, Madina Lego, Accra, you know, and the mate will load. It is not the mate who decides that we are going to Accra Tema Station today. It is the driver.
But the mate knows. But the mate knows where they are going.
Absolutely, and that's not in doubt. But once the driver decides that we are going to Tema Station, Accra, the mate's job is to ensure that the car is loaded. And then whilst they are on the journey, yes, Legon, Okponglu woman, Standards Authority woman, Golf House, that's the mate's job. And the driver also has a specific responsibility. But the one who is handling the steer and determining whether, when we get to Atomic Junction, we should use the Presec Road, or we should go through TF Hostel and drive through Legon and go through Gempa, is the driver, not the mate. The one who decides that when we get to Atomic Junction, there are 4 potholes. Should we swerve this way or hit the pothole? Is the driver, not the mate. That does not in any way implies that the mate isn't part of the journey. Indeed, if the passengers have an issue, they start attacking the mates even before it gets to the driver. You know that scenario. Then the driver will start shouting, Massa, quite way hard been parking and all of that. So we need to understand the scenario. Ultimately, when the mate gets his driver's license and becomes a driver, he can choose that tomorrow morning I'm no longer going to Tema Station. I am now going to go to Circle. That is his decision at that point. And he doesn't have to do that with recourse to any driver because he is in charge. And he also have a mate to drive that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why I said that he has never detached himself from the government. It's because he's confronting the issues and addressing the issues. He's never said that, oh, don't ask me this because I'm not the driver. He's never said that anywhere.
But he says there are certain things that the government has done that he will change when he gets power.
Absolutely.
Hasn't he said that?
Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with it. And I'll give you a quick reason why. In this production room, okay, in this production room, I doubt if your entire team would have loved Miracles to be on the show today. But for the cameraman and for the sound engineer, that's not their call. It is your call. So when you come, they can only say, oh, but why are you bringing Miracles? Why are you not bringing this other person? Then you say, no, it's okay. He's the guy coming. Whether he agrees with you or not, this morning, his job is to come and sit here and guide the conversation and play his role. The vice president, the president, and the entire cabinet, including us presidential staffers, we may not always agree on issues. When you have a company, you don't have every staff and employee in your company agreeing on decisions. But there is a reason why we run a democracy. And the democracy is not only with the state governors. Even our domestic home, we run a democracy. And it's simply because let's hear everybody. But ultimately, let's take a decision. When the decision is taken, yours is not to go and sit somewhere and say, I disagree with the decision, so I'm not going to help to implement it. Yours is to give your maximum best in ensuring that that decision that has been taken collectively is implemented to the benefit of all. So he disagrees with e-levy. He's disagreed with it from day one. He disagreed with it when it was being decided on. But he's not the only person in government. And he's not the ultimate decision maker in government. The ultimate responsibility and decision making in government is with the president. Because we run an executive presidency. Every other person in government is an advisor to the president. He decides whether he wants to listen or not. When the president is presenting, when the finance minister is presenting a budget in parliament, it is a budget being read on behalf of the president. And that's why the finance minister will always say that he's reading this budget on behalf of the president. So if the president decides that I'm reading the budget for 2022, and in that budget, I've decided that I'm going to introduce a levy. Vice President says, Mr. President, I don't think it's the best idea. I think we should do it this way, this way. It's discussed. Everybody say, oh no, we think this is the way to go. The Vice President can say, I have resigned because you didn't listen to me. That is not how a society is run. Your idea may be wrong anyway, or it may also be right. But there's something called ultimate responsibility and collective responsibility. And that's why the Vice President takes collective responsibility of the good, the bad, and the ugly. But the ultimate responsibility in this country's governance is with the president.
Since you are more who Obehunu said the land is Obeka, Namebua, after on the 11th, on the 7th, and to say, at the mom, because on one of the best now. Said the Bay, you animal brave or where you might take a crate. Most would not have seen it. Now, so that's why the machine was 1 month. I'll be quite now, so the Abba Yajuma. Now, so do Chromo call for Friday. Eddie, and 2 Quaco to Abana, a John Daman Mahama, a 2 diet. Anton Obi, or no, and I don't demand Mama's man, and that's what I came home.
Yaban, Omo Mochi or Mogalam say no, Oma Chuomu, Yabama Omo Amnesty, no Masaba.
On an extra no more be since you are more who are Obehunu said the land in the city. Obeka, Namebua, after on the 11th, on the 7th, and she say, at the mom, because on one of the best now. Said the Bay, you animal brave or where you might take a crate. Most would not have seen it. Now, so that's how the machine was 1 month. I'll be quite now, so the Abba Yajuma. Now, so do Chromo call for Friday. Eddie, and 2 Quaco to Abana, a John Daman Mahama, a 2 diet. Anton Obi, or no, and I don't demand Mama's man, and that's what I came home.
Yaban, Omo Mochi or Mogalam say no, Oma Chuomu, Yabama Omo Amnesty, no Masaba.
The cabinet, when we decided the time had come for us to put the weight of government behind the decision to try and stop illegal mining in Galamsey, we composed a cabinet of very responsible Ghanaians, headed by a very renowned, eminent figure in our country, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng. And they are the ones who then designed a program for us of what we needed to do to try and arrest the menace and preserve our heritage. In the course of it, Professor Frimpong Boateng goes on to a meeting, a conference in Abidjan, and there the Ivorian leaders tell him, you people are not helping us. This illegal mining that is taking place in Ghana is beginning to affect us, our water bodies and our space in Côte d'Ivoire. Rivers, waters, even forests, they don't know national boundaries. They run across nations. And there he was, very embarrassed, very apologetic that the activities of Ghanaians is jeopardizing the space of a fellow and neighbor country in our region. That's how serious the matter is. Rivers that have been with us for centuries are drying up. Forest areas, which we should preserve for the sanctity of our life and our environment, being devastated by this phenomenon of galamsey. And all kinds of people from all aspects of our national life are involved in this exercise. Security personnel, political leaders, businessmen, and dare say it, nananum. Some are all involved in this. So we sat down, we said to ourselves, we have a responsibility. When you take the oath that you are sworn to protect the integrity of the nation, Ghana. You swore to uphold its constitution. You swear to uphold its sovereignty. That is that the care of the nation, what's in it? Its people, its resources, its nature have been put in your care. Temporarily. As a trustee. Like Nananum are trustees of the lands on which they occupy for their people. So you are too at the national level a trustee of the lands and the resources of our nation. So you ask yourself, how best can you discharge this trust? You sit back and say, well, all these young men don't have anything to do, so let it go on. At least it's better that they're earning something than they should be at home and perhaps causing other kinds of problems. When you know that the activities that they're involved in are jeopardizing the very survival of our nation. I took the decision that that would be a betrayal of the trust that the Ghanaian people put in me on the 7th of January this year. And as a result, we established this committee within the government to design a policy for us, not just to stop it, to reclaim the land, to let our rivers work again, but also to see how we can figure a way for all these able-bodied young men who are involved in this activity to find an alternative livelihood. So it's a package. It's a package that we have designed to try and bring this menace to a conclusion. I've said it in the cabinet, and perhaps it's the first time I'll be saying it in public. I am prepared to put my presidency on the line on this matter. I've heard it being said that I should
it's totally dead. I didn't get me a 2 things. Give God praises. Then I go get that money across and the pay me. I know they talk much Gucci and some for me 10 feet. I'm crying and I did it. Me bomb a burra on a low. Hey, Mentankasa, Sika and Pedede. I really pankasa, I want fair and Pedede. Hey, Mentankasa, Sika and Pedede.
Time check is 5 minutes past 10 o'clock this morning. Now, I intentionally and arguably play this audio soundbite. But there's some few kind of tension that is arising back home in Ghana and this country, to be precise. So I did it with my own evolution to bring you all this audio soundbite just to remind us of what people said during the time of fighting the canker in all inclusion, and where people also depart themselves to say they things all together just to cast insinuations and also make sure say and somehow will canon. It is whether it is true or any shred of doubt. Say you said it or not. Now, when we heard the sound bite of the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he met the chiefs and other artisans, stakeholders, and he put before them that we all need a collective fight. But he was going to put his presidency on the line. He also made mention of the jeopardization of our integrity of the country, where people are also doing that depolarization. Now they are polarizing our waters and everything that is happening in the country now. Now you heard a sound bite of the former president says that when I gain power back, I'm going to release all those who have been imprisoned and bring them back, those repentant galamseyers, to come and do the galamsey. So you see the dichotomy of the argument we've been making all the time. I always tell you, sir, when we have an indelible mark of situation where you've made a certain suggestions or you make some kind of utterances in regards to something that we want to quell, we want to also make sure that we want to abolish, we want to try to deny that opportunity in our system, which is more pragmatic in our system. You can see that there will be a different dichotomy. People come with emotion and speak. Hey, nah, so this is the dichotomy. This is where the genesis of the whole issue started from. Now, we need a confrontation. We all need a confrontation to keep this situation. Now, if you heard the president or say, Nippon Bibriye, I am Nankasa, they are the custodian of the land, they are also involved. So you see that the fight is not just a fight. He put his presidency on the line because he knew, sir, there are people who are going to vote against him. When you vote against me and I'm not there, you can continue your job. But once he is in power, people say he should have resigned because he made that statement categorical, sir, when he put his presidency on the line. So that was the argument. Now you can see how people are getting worried about the situation of the water bodies. People are talking about it. It's fair. We give people fair hearing to also make their suggestions where we can deduct and add some and deduct some. But in the meantime, the situation has become enormous. Say people take the law into their own hands. People who are also influencers, who are more influential people in the society, are also engaged into the galamsey. Now, how are we going to fight it? Is it to apportion blame on one person, to stand firm and make sure that I'm going to fight it with my own powers, with my executive powers, or in a collaborative venture to fight this menace? It has become an issue where lately people are talking about it. You and I know, sir, when somebody go back there and after I want to do it, and then somebody will go and muddy the waters to make sure people will not be denied opportunity when I come to power, that means that there's going to be a mesmerization of issues. Now we have something we called approbating and reprobating. In the meantime, how are we going to solve the galamsey menace? This is the issue on board. It has become a trajectory. People are talking about it. They have all kinds of notions, all kinds of emotions, all kinds of words temperate language and intemperate language, and so on and so forth. The issue has become a vibrant issue that we all need to take a holistic approach and add something to it rather than we'll be apportioning blames. Because where it is now, the NDC apparatchiks and so say, Omba, they will regularize it. Now, we heard Musa Fagbandi this morning. He made it categorical. Kwame Bisan said, are you going to stop it? How are you going to stop it? He said, we are going to regularize it because everybody who is doing this illegal mining has a document that is covering that person. So that's what Musa Fagbandi said. So it means that immediately they get power, they are going to resume the Galamsey. Now, we are portioning blame on various people who are involved in Galamsey. People are saying, say, oh, DC, we can. All it's not good. But once the person who also want to come to power will make several comments about me coming to power and also allowing people to do, or even free the prisoners who have been, quote unquote, have been in prison or have been languishing in jail. I'm going to release them to come and do it. So that is where the dichotomy has been very complex and complexity. This is how the matter is all about. When we talk about water bodies, it is for all of us. But we need to take a holistic approach to address certain issues. It is not going to be on a silver platter base, but it needs kind of jaw-jawing to make sure, say, we fight this menace. It is something to people are worried about it. How are we going to fight it? People will just go to the location and stand there and say, oh, Galamsey, you knew. But when this thing was happening, what did you say? You kept quiet. Now that maybe it was not in your favor, people are doing it and you don't have opportunity to do it. Is that why you are talking? So these are hypothetical questions we need to ask to confront these matters. When we talk about things like this, when we talk about lands where we need to protect the integrity, but not to do that reproach, it is where we all need to confront it. And Chebeko line is reading command pay. This is hot in the morning all the way down. Quickly, let me chip in the UK report. And pay final report into Grenfell Tower disaster is yet to be released and published. And the report will examine how the London Tower block came to be in a condition that allowed the fire to spread, killing about 72 people about 4-5 years ago, where this incident occurred. It claimed lives. Now, the conduct of investigation, the procedural situation has emerged. Publicly, it is going to be announced, and then they will publicize all the nitty-gritty and what happened for people to claim their life, whether it was a modus operandi for somebody to set the place ablaze. And also, 12 die after migrant boat sank in Channel. Now, those of us who are traveling from the boats, to France near the 12 you can see that it has become a bone of contention for this government and the previous government, that they are fighting the illegality for those who are coming in illegally through the migrant boats, that they want to stop them because it's costing them a huge sums of money in the country. Now, nipa be do mienu and efrimu amona boat so. Now, one be do one by UK 12 die. Now, state pension to be boosted by over £400. In the next year, the Labour government has assured that the Treasury expect the new full state pension to be boosted above inflation more than £400 a year in cash terms. Now, the internal working calculations seen by the BBC reflect the near certainty that the state pension will be increased by average earnings, and figures released next week. More importantly, this is due to the triple lock, which means that the state pension increase every April by whatever number is the highest out of inflation. The average UK wage increase or 2.5%. The new comes as the government faces the backlash of its decision to cut the winter full payment or the full payment for most pensioners. Since about 10 million pensioners who have been denied opportunity to be given the full payment, and that is about £300 every winter. The government is going to cut and abolish it. They have to reflect it on their pension scheme. So that is what the government is doing. So, in the meantime, Tony Blair says during his political era, he marvelously did well Tony Blair has been out of power in the government for 17 years. Yet he thinks that he learned almost as much after leaving number 10 Downing Street when he was in it. One of the key insights from the revolutions in the behavioral economics and neuroscience of the past 20 years is the degree to which our biases and experiences frame up understanding for fresh information, even when we don't want to, and we make sense of the new by reference to the old. It is inevitable. It's inevitable to also say that the recent elections of Labour Prime Minister, after more than a decade of Tory rule, has occasioned endless comparison with the last time that happened in 1997. Both Keir Starmer and Tory said Tony are lawyers by training, and also both have cast themselves against the left of the Labour Party. Both two previous Labour leader, Tony Blair, was a counsel for defense. That is a lawyer by profession. And Keir Starmer is also a lawyer by profession, by all standards. He was a prosecutor, the chairman of the prosecution. And looking at it all, they are coming from a different angle. Now, what is going to be the economy, the dichotomy of how to manage the economy? Ninano will be at their expense. Tony Blair wants to also ginger the Labour leader to make sure there are certain portions that mistakes should not be done to lose power in the next future. So maybe there's going to be an adjustment and by some kind of advice to the Labour leaders they come. Yankola and Sinding Command pay on the Hot Digital Online UK. Once again, welcome aboard. And 16 minutes past 10 o'clock here. Mohamed Dansua will be here after my show to bring you something quite special this afternoon. Hello.
Valentine. My name is Michelle Chiagana for you now. Your best MPP for says some of us, somebody like me, Kwam Peckham, and the rest, you're patriotic communicators. We don't base only MPP in your young ones. A banner chiaswa, you criticize no. And no, a 14 voters, but because Ghana for any that MPP, so to say, yeah, chia, a yomaya. To say, who say you criticize ya, banner MPP ni accepted. Accepted criticism anywhere, improvement and so Emma.
Okay.
Now, yeah, kind of say, me and them is there. I'm calling for total ban for small scale mine. Because Ghana or Maya Yindi Maraso, Yenye law abiding citizens. Was not police in Ukraine, Uncle for so, and Marano no Quaquaja bribe. Into say, Oma licenses is a individual enco to go the Katankatina. Definitely a best issue. Intermediate, I'm calling Nana President Kufuado say, on Fanco Parliament won't focus Amarano. Total ban ye chem will be into me small scale mine build name any big company now man for enter share wom o sika dodo a we be shame no any determine o shares a wo ne mfaso a obenya eno na mfi se beboa na ehemfo na e wo Ghana some of them a mo get myself involved na ensuo ese no you ashamed mo kasa no munim ho se utu kwan ko abrochire baabi na ye jeje wo so na gold bobo mo ho na se ye hwe ukurom na se unsu ase ya ye nkesi wani beto mu di watam wo mutrem ye nkesi wani but they insulting you say sabi o say wonim de anka de ntina unsu a wonom ase
okay
bon enti ye best there na nanu so hini bia ni mu bi he be a to gold when I saw Susubian to me can't change on movie, politicians, any movie, police for penny for radio presenters, you know, baby any movie. Sir, Okatechi free fire. What to my quack for? I will say, Babu Omudini at the other. I didn't know Bodino. When whom penny for be a more small scale, also be Bodino. Mention their names, not let us shame them. Mr. President Kufuado said. Why are there in the history of Ghana? President BNY, what to me about I remember the whole Ghana 5.7 million. I Ghana near Korea will be uncle school. Only Dikwa. She has to tell who the way see my 156. She ran where who do I shall cry who do I 90 over town and the packet 2 be Abaya Galam say, I'd say, legacy dear. Moi, and he may as a patriotic communicators, he catch a President Kufuado immediate effect. Is to hurt the small scale mine.
That's very Skype into you.
Yeah, do come in and make sure Nana Misa.
Into you,
and Omo mobile now. Nana, I'm say and Audi Kankai, and I agree with you to some extent, but banning mining in general, no, it will be catastrophic. Economy, no, just it will be crumble. In fact, your two friends say good over 100 years in it. They say, "Me no kase krana gold process crimes are overtaking that of kuku kra." And na fe o hwe ni pam so a ewom. But I agree with you, say of all water areas in Bia, no say near ye ba na me na wo ya adwen.
Okay.
But Valentine, on say I didn't know one kakra say in the last 3 days in all of a sudden Galamsey issue abeye topical. Why are we that hypocrite? Almost asking yet your mind muno obia ehunia ekoso. But ebe just about to be drew sabri and a sabri yashada ye fuele. I know near entia wenumina eba, but this time around we will not be fooled as a party. Until make catch your communicators in meaning baby a free star a year idea we are a topical issue, yeah, people absentment. Yes, we know sir by a friend saying Galamsey, Jane, say Uchi President Kasa or Kaya. Yenina yate. So all effort be a by yes or baby, but ye be why in the last 3 days. Just about a week ago, Miss Sunday, a year some pictures be around Edema.
Okay.
Unim sa Erastus Asari. Emsa me beka ekra.
Okay.
Of all the program or ye no or call US on a say Kevin Taylor ako post picture. Right after that now Kevin Taylor recommend them. What am I saying here? And yenti America we nyina so say. Enkophobia po mu trimu po. Upon your way, so ye ba Galamsey, ye ba mamo amnesty, and a home crown banning. They are also fueling it. And now you have seen a trade union for buy a day almost say number two, you say, yet the banning of market, no, or one who say, and yet normal. It drew a battle sumra and almost adiano. Then for last election, Crano and Kofobi Babe threatening or more catch almost say, someone named Namo to about a cost certain particular party beer. Yebeba Beshi. True to the West, no, or more yes, man. And the can't say the fight against Galamsey, a collective, sending another president, or the presidency at Toho, Yanya problem with neighboring countries. And Tinkadenti and a gentleman fighter. I am for woman, your opinion leaders, a woman. Okay. Ojai. And to Messiah who said, Sir opposition leader na Sabri or Siobano, or not the policy on mining anything. One require what Beccacha and so bar a Galamsey for or back grant you or more amnesty. Have we questioned him? Nipano a Kunyana a friend, a don at you or Bodonumu. Meanwhile, what didn't declare access or bar or Bema Galamsey for Nako, the site tonight, Yako politicians. Have we asked him a question and then you come and point finger on the president that the president has failed? Has failed what? All of us have failed. Okay. All of us, I've told you, sir, I've been to Ghana everywhere. Yet the Galamsey has said, friends, who should be blamed? More point here, more point of, and the last one, the Valentine, Commissioner Moa, Yenuanum. Yenim say, over 70 years. You are on your pension. What you have enough time. 90 to come and insult some of us. I am so yet here. Retirement that we can actually retire back home, just like you. But you can insult us by telling us, oh, land in there, meaning I don't give a damn. How can you come and say this on the radio? But we know you. You were doing additionally, you were doing self-employed business here. You had a lot of time to do everything. So don't come and insult us.
All right.
Period.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Var. Good morning, Open the case here.
I want to move mobile man go fire. No, I'm saying.
You're Mahama, always ever. Mahama Kasabi or Bekabia, but dear Bakwa, Ayana Sabio, Ayana Mano, Ayami do some mechanism. Sometimes, you know. Say I not Kasabi saying a bassa and cow swap bomb Mahamadi or Kafa or say me
no want it. Me bomb Mahamadi answer me. And I want it. Hello. Oh. I mean, now line now go hello.
Good morning, Valentine.
Fred, into I'm say Kwame line no into.
You anope mitia mo iko ni adwumapa.
Okay.
Mitia Kwame Pekam anemisa. Jatufo yenua Jo osofo akwa David ne ohene kase na asey. Obaya nana abadekness ne tachema no mitia mo nyina. Asemo eda ho ene galamse yi aye ken no. Asemo hia pa.
Okay.
So who say Kwakubu ahen it did na nyamra sem 4 years ago and 8 years ago. Ya yen train na so no. Ono eda so ne nam enwira mu na o2 boys no oye campaign e for galamse yi. Ubenya Francis ya ojina radio yi so for 8 years running na maintaining kada ekosi 8 years ya ban yi ebebu edwa. Francis said to me criticizing Abany, especially on the issue of galamsey there. Your mama the campaign 2020 Francis Wantio. And they ojina paswa or the campaign no Francis onte nemum obeba no about the super edidi eyi or mampenyin empenyinfo atem. For ye be yejina radio so several times. Say galamsey kone da hono a collective effort and the galamsey no. Say all the opinion leaders, politicians are helpful. Now ade me de kra say neighbor me say oba or the to me ma ahemfo. Na ahemfo no esebe want to me atena say akosa menesi ya no. Wo ba now de watwe no halfway. Na wo sopa ayo ho say wo ye neutral de onye.
Okay.
Inti no sasem we say ye ka ye hwe ne ye ka ne ye. Na Valentine ade bi twetwema so pa. Say wo hwe ye radios yi so. Ehwe eyi social media. Wo be hu say Centroni anase radio presenter bia okasa eko support eyi Baumia anase eko MPP afa no. Wo benya babies with sharp teeth. Na one atu agu ne so on the other way ni ye dinatem senso your blogger no wo any of the media network you so na or kasa support MPP na baby will sharp tips yi adwemu akoho say even do have sin be ka ho no mo di atem enso wunya MPP ni bia or wa adaje say or call the other way na odidi nkrofo atem sa sam we say medwene ho a menti ase enti sa suban na ewo wo mu ene yaw no a wo edidi nkrofo atem
no wo yaw anche makacho we ba no wo ya unless
focus say wo de mekanya asasem no wo nja sa atem didie no
yati Skype one was we
Bob, good morning.
Akwa David yetio.
Ewa muni adwuma Fred enko sha Kwame. Na misa ba ya li na se o yekase na se ndo pa ku chawa pam. Saso na ngofo fo jade eno fata. Diknes nana ni dadi himan ene ma Mary no maka nyina eche munyina anti bi sokore. Bible say nimdi abi manfo ni nti eno mo yira. Kana vo nimdi abo efakese no yare ba no COVID no na Ghana ni bie enye responsible for that yare no.
Okay.
Ghana ni bie ano ye innocent. I don't know mampani the nyansa mu no o kan say me try to mess me bo se me ma fo wu die say yare no o mo ye innocent. They mum garam say die Ghana ni bie responsibility. Nanano me for abemu for opposition for police for all the security apparatus in Empo Indian mom to think as here grano. Trying to for gas for do more civil so agenda for no money aje. You be just can. Omo to banche, omo to mo obia ani aje. Yeah, you know, the obia galam say no. Something no. And some more to magazine for any chia.
Okay.
Mo put for na drop from for any chia. Enti sakra se de e kana ni bia se bi odi nyansa bia no e wa se de se no and I be able to the Irajo Mama Kayan, the Kokuba him Kaino. And this is one of Bonibia Omo, and the idea that media Homa Obono. Omunguna di Bonibia, what your Mama Kainu, and the Bonia, what your Kuba Kainu. Oh, and no maybe I won't make a piano. And what you can say, Open Penny, and you so ill play. Now, play must be a toilet to cry.
All right.
Toilet and Johnson, and we get a part of the Sabisa, Yansa, airtime. There's not a month for Jetum, no champion, no Omoka. And the media, and this is one, no one trans, no one say, that's why.
Aqua David, answer the no. Hello.
Hello, boss. Good morning, Pastor Francis in Cross.
Yes, you.
I said, I'm a frau, I am father.
I don't, and there be an old name will be her. Once I'll be on my phone.
No problem.
So, maybe do my time.
But the problem, cry. My grandboats, yeah. Migrants here by UK through France eBay. Want to say UK minister and as a population they say I said that a leadership making for plans and almost Rwanda and almost say it's leadership. Such a menace destroying our country.
Okay.
Unya leader. Pian Timin Kase. Me ATS, me say, see, I'm a member in that account. And Tramo say, the same, no, way na me yeah, yes, see, this is the result. Me timati way, me don't know if I'm requiring so my restrictive visas. Obi obey shall fine, must stop it. Nothing. And so when you move at the end of Mukrunti, Muba, I love your responsibility. Mate, some of them my visas for China. When you move at the end. Yes, some crow, yes, some of my future. If we are generations that we are saying, young Ghana for be but tonight, our timer, now you are saying the uselessness because it show what is life. Kwabrani Bekase, Yaya Quine, Yaya free education, Timoya Basso. I be before the year more poor. I be before the year more poor. But I am PP. Nti anim guasiano ye bekatakata so atenya ne akase ye nim se people big man na say ye etachiri pa na say ye nsuo ne ansase ye no Ghana. That is our biggest problem, and these people have the audacity.
Okay.
They are so bold to say and start playing. Now, and I don't know how say, oh, 8 years. We are paying you people to render accounts to us. We are in the 8th year of your tenure. I render what you've been able to achieve. No concert now more yeno. Yes, say Flagstaff House. What does a president Naya found? What does Baunia found? No more feriadi almost say over our dead body.
All right.
This will never happen.
Now, Francis over to now over a dead body. Then what can you do?
Meaning so Ghanaians are wise enough. Because let me tell you, but they are successful in power. I'll have some empathy. I'll sympathize with them.
I'm also criticize you buying, but you don't bring solutions for past 8 years.
Almost say they have
almost criticize you for past 8 years.
Almost they have the men. Me on their Francis, they need solution. They have the men.
But stop criticizing all the time now. They be about criticizing, they back over criticizing. I don't know me. I want to
But anything, anyway, moving forward, I think a couple of days ago.
A minute, name for your time.
A couple of days ago, I think Minia Kwame Greenwich, he was disrespected on the radio. I hate unfairness. I really despise people not being treated fairly.
Okay.
The women who came to disrespect him, this gentleman only asks focusing on policy. but near Baba district, but anka the other way around now. Campaign for us of Funka, but you Anka and a Sabo and a Sabrantiano, they are hypocrites. Now, say, Momo Fanko Kwame Greenish. You're from Monia Francis. Are you deputy Branham Kennel?
Hello.
Hello, Valentine. Good morning.
Morning. Nana, now what more?
I am Madam. I am Michelle Window Busha for. And Michelle, my sisters, Aqua David, Marcy, Michelle Jerusuka, and Fred, my cousin, and I'm scholar uncle. Yeah. Already, then no beauty. What who was already there, you know? Time in COVID, in the buyer now. Boris Johnson, a Bedina street, and a Queen Ninia Bedina street, me catch and say a corporate fight. Yeah, we need to fight this. Yeah, I'm dying and one mindset, a two mindset. Yeah, chichi ya maya, na ya cut 2 If what as nigga say. And this meeting so okay come over say NDC for a 2 Nyashawo party. 2 Nyashawo stem. Then abanajina sama I mean no okay can send say NDC for no. A bimo 2 for mindset. You the teacher my house you kobo 2 and then I Mr. Muhammad did to okay. And then a man to me with 2 mindset man ko can't share a choir yetimi a prime minister ni Ozimano say omu ni wuade no mu ni adwen ada no matumi akoka nche omu sa okay upon then so and galam say into me you offend a corporate fight na just leadership I say leadership say junior o na me jam krom ho me dream me mind me business no garbage na ho no aka I say that my soldier for neighbor I didn't know aka actions na cost na say it's
conduit
because nyanka sa mutu bi no mo ka kire me say omni soldier for na you one am kana mo ka kire me then nothing yenya say yen corporate no yan ho say yen yan himfu no obi a police for no yen ye ba be ye we ya ye be say we ya ye be report police ye be report we ye be yes ya ye be na ya fight ade no mo ko kan kire ye prime minister no eni ohin no say omo bibi bana ye ka say corporate fighter omo ko kan kire omo say omo mindset omo ye silly omo ye stupid omo ye consent party for mo ko ka di kire won enye Ghana nko na mo so mo ko to na me cousin Fred because mo ayam piano mo ko to egu ho no na mo 2 years na mo di bia be frafra ye me 1 minute for cho okay and me papa for party o ma yi adwen efi sad a contomre ni wa friend Gary Olonka ni wa friend den dokno no nti na bi mu kasa NDC phone kasa eduanye o ma yi adwen efi so no o ma wie so hooliganism so o ma yi adwen efi so to the rule of law NDC phone no ka eduanye sem everyday eduanye budget ni bia no mama ye bento ani kwaba na kese abraba ni ye ti Africa wa ye bo anu se fia no ye nya ni papa for party the embracing policies agenda to Akwema to bring that abreast with the rest of the world. And when my year you drone to na mu NDC for no manya mu na say you fight pollution mu say we say tax na then na say ko see ma be jira say Ghana say ni ye Ghana for Mr. Muhammad na ye pe ye be trust say bibia ye bia na ye ko ye be ye papa ye pay trust say o mine no say Mr. Muhammad ya na ye pay Valentine that bye
ya tinana ya da say na so dia na hello dikrisi eji o da
oh when you dey in I want to that
oh ye wa so
divine selection e bi aka me say me dey see
okay yo yente wa no pay
me see all the honorable wisdom the wisdom in town all the honorable men the old people men from the beginning, from the lead to the end of the minister, and the middle one of them, before him. And the people, make your first lady, I'm going to draw Kuro for Dr. Obaya, who could bring me about the first lady. I'm a man, don't lady, Lamana, and Nana, I want to
Yeah.
A club right away. Your new road minister was a good
Opa. Donald Trump.
When the happening to try, you go play your prime minister, the army of
Yeah.
If you are having another problem, you go to the prime minister. And I can't out almost it's about something I got a poor boy. Galan say, yeah, well, okay, you need to minister. You need to minister. It's what are they talking about?
Okay.
They should go and sit down, have themselves well. Because Ghana for everything Dr. Bawo, me a very one president one. 1 year, we not be in court. If you don't anybody here, but you don't go and to be there is ministers around. If anybody having any problem in Ghana, go to that minister. We have a road minister. We have ambulance minister. Everybody have a minister.
Okay.
This is whatever they do. Is coming for 8 years.
Hello.
Hello, Van.
Yeah.
Good morning, Van.
Morning.
Hey, Francis.
Francis, you.
Somebody talking about disrespectful. So the earlier caller, Francis, he has been more disrespectful than anybody on earth for the past 8 years, right? You've been tolerant to him because per courtesy, only courtesy, one courtesy. He calls our president with names and all that, but sometimes you give him that leeway. Let me move straight to what's happening. Oh, me can't MPP government. Me MPP ni me chrome. Me chrome we offense. Yeah, cement factory. Say me chrome. Me wa technical school be me chrome. Almost on any TV. They need a land. Be developing me chrome. Ebe nyuma aba me chrome. Right?
Okay.
This is why we have people with vision, and we have people who will come and steal our money. And the Ghanaians are now not voting on a committee. Who's only a research be Ghana? Say a common Ghana. And then almost almost president already or Kanokre.
Yeah.
Oh baby, Pama.
That's right. That's right.
And the guy, the earlier caller said, Ghanaians can the free senior high school.
Yeah.
It's a big achievement. One, I've got mates, Kofi Afranu and James Quarty. These boys were clever.
Yeah.
But because of SCA,
yeah.
Secondary school, they were more better than me even in school.
Sure.
Not to say, in cry by Omania, Sa Amochena. Can't we thank God for that? No, we say I'm a Ghanaian, say 48 Ghanaian scholarships, so I'm operating free messages in the Anambwa.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because our education is improving. Your future is education. Without education, you are nothing.
Sure.
So these are our kids who are coming. They will improve our life. Even if we are not alive, their kids' life will be improved. Things will be different. And I almost say the credit score, almost say very good. Look, in Ghana, you use 2 million to buy a house. But when there is a credit score basis now, you only have to put a down payment of maybe 50,000, 900,000, right? So that 1.9 million now, you can invest it, create companies for people to work for you whilst you are paying your mortgage. So what is good? What is good on that is Ghanaians, we are heading somewhere. Give Ghana 20 years, and we will be somewhere that God will know that we have a good leader. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Francis Sudiano, young call Skype. One hour we.
Oh, Valentine, good morning. Hey, Johnny.
Me too, on catch it.
Nansana my busy kakra.
Okay. John, who you there?
But me who you pa me chill tambia.
Okay, yo, Mati.
You Madru yesterday me chow hin kase na say as usual. Dr. Obaya. Obrimpo Fred me chow pa na friend say that's him ane Mikrom secretary before so phone na. Okay. Valentine, your friend say former president Mama there were predictable power. Nansane ne. Na me ka say sad part here I see one northern part of the country.
Yeah.
Oba be bremu your friend say President Akufo-Addo. To my unu say em say Nansane no o kan say so to say unya abanbone a nso kra ntimento. Once obe kan say what the populist you kwana oka. Oh. Until it's just onya sem bi aka onya na secondary so when you say ana pray na me tie no say sa drip program no omo di aba no.
Yeah.
Ahoya no na ahoya just say ya no ya. Just say Ghana Fosika and the Diaspora na all can say na one say president Akufo-Addo and say vice president vice Mahmoud Bawumia Abanska but Nyansafo a omo MPP mu and agree ho especially Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and agree say no I'm for complaining a kwai am buy me ka say a game changer and no na say I know intercity no the last issue here dynamics are where this time no nya adwene small scale unit there and I almost the community mining so aba adere sika no nyankopon na dia be chen ni oton and the end yen to no responsibly na Francis ready enya na sam to baby why obi also just car said or the beko to the or responsible guy one that's it thank you
Obaya yenti you na yanko.
Yeah, good morning, va.
Morning, Obaya yenti you.
Enra me fancy frefre me too quite kakra. Me do offer to go back to school.
Amafo bisa weteja.
But like me tiawo and all by your propaganda me tiesu. You will feel to me tiesu rough.
No, I can't just obey propaganda.
And I am humanitarian. Oh, your propaganda near friend.
I just say yes, I'm not going
thank you. I mean, my brother here too. Man was for the crest. So I'm not saying man and now me Barbara Grace singing. I'm powerful and Mary. You may mean I come up. Evan. Right. But let me say, communicators, me na me damano. Kawakuma to ye mu watching. Sa campaign we, wo said ya wo can wo asem. Me ya ka de yam fa.
I say mo accept criticisms. Now.
Oh, na say I accept it, but yam fa.
Oh, okay. I know
you. No. 4 years to me at this time. And I'm not mama de ko kubu ahe. Ejire wuram jo mama na kan yo wo say president say me kan kire mo na me mfa sa ni pa ya wo mu jira ho jo bi atwa me ho asia yi ye wo power wo mu na me ma wo mu chance ase ma mo okay na ganam say ni ho then na president Akufo-Addo bai na nsuo ni nyina say o ka so obi anfa na yi mu fom na ganam say ni eni nsuom eni ba bia eyeden when you are talking listen to yourself and then say the power bai na me kan wo bia hu no Kwame Peka madamfo wo bia hu no me say collectively said the Kwame Peka mkada bia Francis what do you call it Fred ne nasifo nyina be kan bi nipa ba ko ntimi ntu first ne ya de so ahemfo bi ye asɔfo bi yɛ ima me se na wo mo yɛ ne kase pa yɛ radio station se wo krom ho top businessmen wo mo na yɛ ne kase okay simple question MPP fo na etu MPP nipa ene your wife was say ade ne ko ayɛ di nti yɛnyɛ ne shoot to kill and no for na sɔle gyina kase and this for our makoto mama we no nka ho I think you come MPP for send me a man so watch it na mo ho atom me say next time me jamfi but me ka balance asem mo ko we awaso oni do ma amania Ibrahim mo ti me baba MPP for the ye ntimi momudina ada ye de ne haye enti de ya ka ne woman to a million after will be the Najan Peppa. Send your Mohammed to Miss Ako promise. Nagan say crusader a bar was say Yanim was a one and was some to your mama promise our car. Kokuba promise our car, Mr. Neutra. Now and me a meteor program and I'm quite I make a meteor program. Kofri Pamu. Join be aso be kasa na me de open makuti a mepem upi wo ye hwan wo ka tia me meka bi atia entu ba owura ye wo politics say the class wo bia wo kwan wo fa so ye ni program no wo bia so wo kwan wo fa so kasa e meka chantia me oba wo fie wo awo bia no awo oba wo ma me yo oba enti meka chantia me na enkokorafo no so ma je pension na da bia o mu be di atem no yenimu kwan amofa so amokotena Ghana entu opa Ghana ye okuro ona ase ya ball aso na oti ho e me biyen aye wo ha ye so ye kasa e me nyansafo tie etu abata e me di atam wudi atam owura ye beti hu bi take for that
abaya de ya semni fully yentio
no Valentine o ti
yeah me too pa kasa.
All right, Mamintia Ona, Mintia, Madame Ella. Mintia, Dr. Professor Obaya, or yes,
okay,
and Mammy business, more passion, and another work to job for more, and also for the villain and million answers. But answer me this question about me. A year, Jomahama, who yes, supposed to be Bibihano?
Bibihano is saying.
Let me some more
them biom na wasaka ubisa sa.
Oh, what can cook kitty ya dia chow. Afa do di yan be ka ho.
Che mwan so na ye wi. Ade ye wi bi. Ina de o ye che no de farmers ni pizza farmers ni.
Am fadudi ewure mu mu anyi na ebo onyi wi fe. O wi fe no dan okoda ni beku no okoda be. Na e mwan ye wi bi no a wo kan. Eno na wodi ba pe ababie yuma ma youth na so be pe yuma ma om eno ni youth aduma de be om na na. Oh, in fact, so obi odi wani na so ni oni die na gbin mu no say
odi jano e yo mo side o kan odi yenko eye
Valentine ye ko wo entino ni bullet
waka kakra because we are the name no me person obi so ba be ka bi etia wo nti
material
you should measure what you are doing nti yenko yini
and no uja ho no see ya wo ka say a year district road improvement program drip by the other over no ho say katapula bi si kwan so ye juma Elfili epic tabo ho tino mu hu bi asa mu kola mo kwa wai na mo no mo pensi azi na ura fi won se won so contract ade ma agi o di laptop fi bi bebu hall mu o picture na e screen saver wo eno no bi kan bi pa wan na be no aka se eye equipment e di ba yi eye ya ka sanka bo tum sika ni ko se wan aka
okay
Wọ́n yà ó diẹ no, ó di kọ̀yẹ́ mu, ó di kọ̀yẹ́ nkọ̀nfẹ́m. Wọ́n yà ó diẹ no, ó di kọ̀ bí ènìyàn wọ̀ fẹ́bìrì mu. Wọ́n yà ó diẹ no, ó di kọ̀ tuntun Adama slavery fọ́. Wọ́n yà ó diẹ no, ó di kọ̀yẹ́ process. Former president Omowu ẹ̀fọ́ ní adé sẹ́kì sẹ̀kẹ̀ bá tuntun mu. Lòbí ọ̀nù no, ọwọ́ ní ìdíyẹ náà ju mu jọ. No knew what the time is. Ọkọ̀ direction èyí ẹ̀sìn ìyẹn kọ̀ bìrì. Wà á kó fẹ́ǹsì bí àbá àmà yẹ̀ ní ìyẹ́ yìí à, ó yìí náà hàn sí sẹ̀nsẹ̀m wẹ̀. Ghana for they say more will go bia like being in isusi e wo de temu.
Okay.
And you know what about now? So baby, I Dr. Baumia one of them. Now so don't start with tea. Yet your Mahama said, yeah, let's go here for it because one can't know about us and one can't.
I'm sure no can.
Well, I can one kind.
I'm sure no can.
Now no about us and think I shall be slow.
I'm trying to young query.
Aha. Now say the young query, one of the two your Mahama young, but I said, no about us. We say a query, it's your query, who you have to have a campaign. On my no direction, I call with so obedi galamsey ever to UK channel Hano. I mean, how can you marry the two? Did you examine your conscience before saying this? Channel I know more a year for so ever. Any galamsey almost everywhere in Ghana they do a honeymoon. Yes, is that you no more Kobia, so if they have to organize a collective fight, they have to organize. You come honeymoon, yes, what I say, Yama what I say, you know. You have a mobile, you have a more association, and not a watchdog. I am obeying the royal forest. There will be because as I said, a failure.
Okay,
no road as we are there. And you know, more formal assistance from the Lucy, more formal watchdog, you know. Now, who said, more than some dashing Eshamon, no more who find and will be Mahodum MAS.
That's a papa. Sky, one of us, into Bonsum 4.
Yeah, Val, with us, our Symphony movement for change.
Okay,
Val, my main address issue be new no more mobile Alan because retirement and I was saying is Ikano. Me say Omotias, yes, Alan, am I a new policy blueprint? A Ghana transformation.
Okay.
Yeah, and we drew now what they are to Wamai. It is Alan Kase Echna or retire politics planner. A drone or the Ama Ghana force and the Bessay house no yariano. A drone will remember would forever remain relevant. Okay. It is a Uchiana Wanya Utipa no yard and we drone as Obefa Alan a drone or dia to hono. Nasa onumna esau yadia. Sam na Obekai Alan na wuhunison faso. MPP Emra Alan Nimre na Dajin Sikani Nyansa Edi Eye MPP. Emma party ni baby no. Mo amudi na atemo nda amukaseti no sam re no krabia na mokramo nso MPP ho dae ono asanim re na daji a party no ababe mu ende osin hihye ya party no omo ehihye to ho ne kufuado ababe gu hihye ne nti wate ne ho but on man adwen pa ene ni nim de ne nka ni trim to the team movement ena yen so ye kyerkyere mu enti se wo ba wo de nyamre na kind of great transformational plan ena maka no Alan or retire and there the new policy blueprint now or the abano will remain relevant. Okay. And to make come as no Val, yeah, my enda your papa Alan say, or more eco launche we ye Zumunta ewo Zongo. Okay. And also no a debia a winga ebama movement for change because ye nimsenia Zongos for no who relevant Emma ye economy no. Okay. Inti Alan edi atu wenim say oba e wo say ye makaranta teachers no omutimi di omutu GS payroll so na yiti omuka inti mami ensambo soma minuam zongo fo na omuhu say ye papa Alan e obi a oka oyo e na onim nia what it takes to achieve sa policy no inti then why mu chicken zongo Zamma ankuri kamamba baba mu Alan zumunta da aka bude nin ya gagan kaman cikin zongo mu malami mu da ke goda ma yaran mu karatu ya kamata government ya fara biyan su don me ya sa amfani karatu yaran ni mun ga inda suka zo suka karatu larbanci ana yana larbanci ga kasan larabawa ana neman yara zuwa yi aiki ko ware ya zo ziyara a Ghana an samu yaran mu mutanen da za su tamye su duka zai kawo amfani ya ba zongo ya fi yanda ake use yaran mu ana barna da abubuwan da bai da kyau yasa inda baban mu Alan wai in yazo yi president Ghana zai fara yana biya malamin mu yaso ana tamye yaran mu a cikin zongo enti Valentine ya meka ni say say ne zongo fo no beti aze ni say papa la ni say oba so ma say ye malam fo no mo hwe nkola ne karatu no no mo twen den because he knows the economic benefit of it. Where in the Middle East there's a lot of jobs opportunities for Africans, but language, Arabic language, is part of the requirement. And this about you are now say, oh, baby, no, Ozongo. Now say, you be an obetime engineer, and now say, obey office Juma. If there is a household job, be now say, Akwenya Bamba, now say you can communicate in the language, a protocol of the location now. You will get us the chance to go and work and bring something for the family. Valentine, or he's unique. He's the best and the most competent. So you'll be a person policy-based politics. Na esenye wefuna odinam na se omani kankro ne hianwa. Ye papa Alan huni na dream pa ni nhihye pa odi be transform Ghana atoho. Se okwakoto aba mu bi foforo. Media it boggles my mind. But quickly, Val, when say Abranti ya ye won it kan war secondary school. So what is news no?
Really secondary school.
Yeah, it's very pathetic.
One and Papa Whisker, one and
I always the one and Papa Whisker and all that. And Chebia na candidate Bakuba Mia Kobwa secondary school for Yano and the year Pelma Battle. But also CCTV cameras over 50,000. It's a best no. So we have a friend money free education. Now at the end of the day, now out of insecurity. Media Madisa then say chiche CCTV cameras in my senior high school no fast. And then I say meba I get notification every movement to be all your school. Look, recently almost sending me text message meba no washroom and she spent more than time be with her. All right. But for confrontation and all that. So there's surveillance. Okay. That is a working society. Surveillance. And secondary schools no CCTV cameras nibi. All right. Now fan protecting your money. That's the who spend this car money free SHS.
That is papa. Also hello.
Hello, good morning. Van, Uncle Cowboy Brown.
Yo, ente wano pay.
Yo. Hey, wana the baby wa waka the Galamsey no. Yeah. Ghana for won't say more.
You too.
Listen, and when ankasa and when them ko for anyone wo ye Galamsey mu akupesa kasa.
I get away be.
But wo ye be papa.
And you were a suspect.
Sisi ano wa bani yi ho. Wa bani yi ho a wo be seize excavators. Then when you be free wo dey go to anyway.
Okay. Also different thing no.
Oh yes, no way ya udi the sister abenyi bay wa ba benyi ke ndo bebe bo wo wiadi wo ni bia ka de bia ka lam se na nti me ka che go Ghana foi ma wa ban bra power there's a wo bet ne nke bi wa ban be ya bo ha do bo gwe ti ku ma regular eno me so wa ban ba bet le yan so wo nke bi o nti ma sama ya na pe bye bye.
Uncle Go Boy Brown, I think come here, Uncle Bakupe. Hello, Skype, you?
Yeah, Van, yeah, near before I tell you.
Now, Osho.
Before I see my jack, who be a number crowd.
Oh, sorry.
I catch your brother, old friend, who's a corner by me to me.
Oh, and watch it.
Yeah, I'm watching where you're phone. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, Van, Mahusa Francis or Chatim Pa Diatem. The Braham China sent power, so chess or green Ghana who pass a gun and soon I say, and I say, business been a walk up and amfa.
How was anyway, Bisana?
Bisano say, said you see Catatiable, said Ghana who do power or yes, I did Yamishano.
Oh, but business and the parochial interest, and I say, thinks about Ghana.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right, and Francis by baby.
I heard that they may come for finance MPP for they say NDC one who say homo loses zongo communities any north. Okay? They say maybe homo pay Galam say somebody are starting say munim I'm going to take any measures to stop Galamsey. You never to say the Muslim amnesty. Say the Muslim the same thing. You're two hours time I December 7th. Now, you know, and then may say, Mumbom sa, Mumbom. Munim na mo kostopo omo aseda na omo di tata mo omo di tata ba na ma tete meje empa china wa wo so dogana nsuo ti la wo ti atia mu awboa
alright era azubebre eno mere yenti o de nko hello eno mere
papa
yenti o
ma chi eja
yenti o
na ho ye de
nyame de acha ye yenti o
nyane woni adofo metiamu nyina tiamu bu
we dey wa bedem dis Alan na sema na obeka Alan na we close to Alan on we close to Alan
Alan ntina member
abrante wate ne ho na o so ko
Alan mi ni di na tamu
onka zo di na to chese wo so wate ne ho a ya no nte ne ho
wose wo mo aye ba na ye di Alan atam mi ni di na tam Media me say more born wo ye me say watena ade mu mfie bebre.
Oh okay.
Na wa twe ne ho ade afiri mu eno na me ka say ye me ye a.
Yeah yeah okay.
Na nye fa hwe. Ena afi so me say aka say bibia ye wo MPP mu bia wo ka ho no wo mo ye ye. Ya fe no wo twe ne ho ade afiri ho.
Okay.
Isade bia wo mo ye nyina ifiri kofo abreso ebesi na na do breso ni nyina wo ka ho unya mpani die wo enti unya mpani die wo bo man mpani ko fo unya mpani die wo ayi na na ku fo ado ho wanya mpani die
okay
enti no wo de wo ye to aba no wanya na wo ko na asa abai enti se de wo ko no kopreko Entino na bra no was there na ala ndi aba ye be kai no
so zongo odi mhihye bia ba zongo a makaranta se bia obi language no on be tutu
okay duro bia sam za duro bi ba ntie ni ye duro no was there duro
oh and me no o chese ala ja legacy obeja legacy atoso ni wo kra resign kra obeja and send wo so bia to ya bibi
it is what see duro bi na ala ne de aba na say ye wo ya akofa duro ni binuma na ka se ti ala ya ala obi ani wo ka se ti abi de mo bro no wo ye me na mi so no and this
and no no nya mo bonti jan life
ai se zeri wa me hu so wo nya mo den kan ho asam kura
and you no dwen ho
to no nya no afa wo nya ye nyina ye ti
era so pa eno su de do Skype yenti o de enko
hello ba
yeah
communication
yenti o anope
yo efense me pamucho bibre mechia oni obusia mechia mpanifo na mechia Mr. Tobaya ne communicators mechia obia aya na yetimi make some examples there metimi dream how mechia say ye brain obusonfo
yeah
obusonfo say Alambra party ye friend say MPP and first one ala nya one MPP we bi she come peka no ne obaya no me declares no me ade then no money everybody
okay
and we are talking about these people and yet then they win more years ago I communicating here the what mean the minister before by we a minister Kupando ba we a minister the DS on your party in their one year by force so be main leader and son also benefit from the party and not you know Allah go is almost fighting the role is time old men only are almost fighting to bring MPP back at that time liberty machine and you know remember my catches Allah bless no bia me come anima we see after the emphasis in combo a schools we send message and come out I don't want to say Ghana said a country what country I am moving to Ghana a developed country why are you not and I will say and I Ghana say don't compare with Ghana we are doing our best a third world country a developing country so even the standard corona
Baumia, Eddie, a friend is saying digital, a junior ready and Koduno. It's even high. What they've done the best in Africa. The whole Africa will be at Ghana. What you say? It's young man begins the revolution demonizing Ghana, say the Ghana practice. You know, we are doing our best. Ghana is developing country. No function between and developed. May come anymore. Ghana say fight, yes. Insurance say yes. We will fight it. National American say, "Sa here we yeah for Ghana say politics."
Okay.
In the NDC for more than 1 month, sa insurance my cost in the at the right time. NDC for more because more Panama stand about the politics view. So what I say, I mean, the American say Ghana police, they should act as policemen.
Okay.
Don't fly one helicopter. National finance still will more blasted blast. So that say will not be a politics because that is the issue. I'm saying because I don't see you see politics in the police make dealing with it direct. President shouldn't come out to say anything. Young die or mining my police for no more. And I don't want to helicopter. I'll find a situation blasting. Because I know the NPP and Nanado, and I say, I think Bamiaba big Norcas will be in Nagaland. So it's not going to happen.
Okay.
And this is their politics. It's not going to happen. The police for more active. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. Last caller. And peace in a short while. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Valentine.
Bajoania.
So I man you clap him.
I'm my end.
Mechia when they were tearful, where they may bonnet tell.
No problem.
The Pacho, Sir Galam say, a similar person make a crack. Galam say, mean put an minimum to say, we are Ghana, check class out. Oh, order that. I want to say, be a crack, but then yet to say, that's right. Sad, and a fee year can see and a memoha. Ghana need be a what me be open a man call YouTube, the price of gold.
Okay.
Nipa na okoye sa documentary no the Guardian newspapers as I mean say UK ha no mo wa Guardian presenter na koye sa 11-12 years ago na wo kopa na kohwe sa atam nsuo obia kohwe be the price of gold yeah and say anas nso ye expose about this galam say nyina wo entimenti sa baby aba wo try say obetu galam say ase Sen Nanado. Nanado makes our castle will be a person you say. Yana Yenimono, you better say, oh, Saba pay me some point of beer. I'm saying, a buy and pena a unity. Okay. Will be up of heavy on Bocas Nanado, say why I did. Pay by your who said I did not know it. Or my beard, and there you go, our lances only lances you. Was some of them war. Na investigation, near to Tonyama. And this for Korea, the group of pay so. And what you want to make go home, and woman to my Yama, and the intimate send you the pressure group of pay swam, Yanto, your boss, and you could see. Here, Jar Lances is my woman. Almost as I say, one and Lances for ya when Omas are funk for your galamsey. Well, we are one you are so appreciated by dear Bay, and no Yakoji excavators. And this is for also San Casaya and excavators a tutu, and what in a fan, and a movia, and yea. I don't know, yes, Uncle J. Yes, you know, hey, can't go to quiet the quiet, yet, and I'll do two more than it. Made me one president to be about our Ghana, man with us, I got them say fighting. Any panel didn't want Jim to send Nanado. You probably able made in, I got him saying, Nanado don't want to me home. A Yakumbia, I'm gonna fool you not dying him for Yania, Timony, I can't be never say a cannon, Nanado, near to me to Sagalem saying, as I say, I'm an Nanado, a bank wire, now pay politics. Okay. Then this is what the campaign, Papa Maya Day, Cosi and Cosi, Quadam, that. And I'm part of me back CCTV, made to walk a crack, CCTV no. And I can chroma say, my Kunkum, and Nan, my Kunkum, TV, CCTV no. I was a boss assembly. Na what say, yeah, and a boy a pa, and a beer. Makuma could be let me prevent us. Oh, men who says CCTV, but do one idea, SCV, and the cocoa penny and a quiet pass. I don't prevent it. It is a CCTV body and Kagana, yeah, you can chroma the UK high. Kenya sa problem ni bi kurada no correct so ta Valentine Manuel MP for mama mani nya dire na me de mom jeja mahama ba na free education be twam dia me de mahami mo nkasa mama mani nya da mo cheche Ghana for ne say anye bia ho kira ba Ghana for so wo mu de ndis for so mu nyi ntumu a wo say ana na de ho kira ba no abre kurom ha ye nyina ye sofa no ma Ghana for ni mu say ahwo kira na aba no so wo mu nim no ko change wo mu nsa wo mu ma school no ekokra
yate
ekokra 10 people for mu nkasa da mwase
na mokoma asem do no ada mo ba ha eza asem bi tumenyim